Fense Post.
And good afternoon, Grain Valley. Welcome to another episode of the Fense Post podcast. I am Jace with my co-host,
Matt Nevels,
and we are joined today by none other than Nilesh Patel. Nilesh, how are you doing?
hello.
Doing great, guys.
Nice.
Nilesh, for those of you that don't know, does or has done a lot of a lot.
A lot of a lot.
I don't know how to quantify that.
Is that a metric measurement?
I believe that's a standard.
Okay.
Standard metric conversion.
A lot of a lots.
A lot of a lots. I think that's the square root of lots.
Okay.
All right.
Fair.
But anyways, the reason why we're here, Nilesh is actively a real estate agent with the Patel Group. Nilesh, how's real estate?
You know, real estate has been a great career for me. It's done well. It's doing well right now, even though, everybody kind of says the interest rates are high or, prices are too high. But there's still people buying, selling, doing things. And the investment side, which is what I specialize in, is really strong right now. So.
Yeah. And you've been a real estate agent for how many years now?
So I graduated college in '97 and got the real estate license right then. So,
Yeah, and you graduated with a degree in...
actually, architecture.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then got a job doing what you could have done at 18 without the degree.
True.
Well,
No.
I'm trying to connect dots here.
Sometimes the road is winding. That's okay.
I have a marketing degree and I teach business. So...
It happens that way, right? You have dreams and aspirations of what you want to do, and, and then you figure out what's the way to get there.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
My path was, I don't know, maybe I was just burned out with school after 4 years, and I didn't want to go to 2 more for my architecture degree. So just took the bachelor's and wanted to start life.
Now, you are a Grain Valley graduate, 93, yes. Wow. Not quite 10 years older than me. So, Matt, we've learned from a couple of, we need to start keeping track, Matt, of how old you are based on the podcast.
It seems to grow every podcast.
Well, I don't think last podcast or a podcast, you were 2,735 years old. Because he actually competed in the very first Athens Olympics.
Oh, right. Great.
In Greco-Roman wrestling, nonetheless. Who knew? But you have a different age each time. So you have your own group. You just opened up a new office here in Grain Valley, so the Patel Group. How does it feel having your own office in your hometown?
It's something I've always, wanted to have. I started off with my first office in Blue Springs just because office space was cheap, and you start out where you can, right?
Right.
So started there, kind of realized, I didn't need kind of the space I had at the time. There's a little downturn in the market, and it was starting to creep back up, but... pandemic, I felt I could work from home, so that kind of happened. I did the work from home. Started to realize I'm still growing, doing too much work, can't get it accomplished at home. So went ahead and got office space out in Lee Summit, and it just kind of grew from there. Hired some staff and really outgrew that pretty quick, and needed more space. And so the goal was to always come back to Grain Valley. It's much nicer to drive 5 minutes to your office than 15 or 20.
Yeah, for sure.
And it just and I have a affinity to Grain Valley. I grew up here. Want to help this town grow, succeed, and improve the landscape of the business, the business sector here, and even just general life out here in Grain Valley.
And we're coming up on a year now that you possibly made one of the oddest decisions ever.
Yeah, it's about a year ahead.
It's been about a year, and that was to hire me as a real estate agent for the Patel Group. I am the number one selling sales agent in the Patel Group right now, other than Nilesh.
But he's got a couple of newbies coming.
I'm going to have to. Yes, I'm going to be. It was easy being one of one. I don't want to have to work so hard. But it's funny how things come full circle, because I became a real estate agent and kind of worked in the same office as you 16, 17 years ago, right before the 2007, 2008 crash that actually cost me to get into education because I had no money. Nobody was buying or selling anything.
That wasn't a good time to be in real estate.
No, it was a terrible time to be in real estate and own houses that lost the stuff. You know, obviously you were able to survive that. To tough time for everybody. But now, you're back here in Grain Valley. It's been, man, so much fun to work with you, learning stuff. I do so much stuff anyways, but, what you do has always been interesting to me, just the investment side of things. Matt, what you might not know is I've known Nilesh pretty much my whole life because our dads owned businesses next to each other.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Your favorite restaurant over there, Taco Bell,
Yes.
here in Grand Valley?
The gourmet Taco
Yes.
Bell,
Yes. I think it was about right there, right?
Yeah.
Taco Bell to the Casey's area. My dad owned a gas station there, I-70 Oil Company, and in kind of the same parking lot down the corner where the America's
It's America's Best Value.
Mayor's Best Valley currently used to be the Scottish Inn, and Nilesh and his family owned the Scottish Inn, and we got to know each other because they had a swimming pool.
So you wormed your way into the swimming
And
pool.
we did
I
not.
made a lot of friends.
Good way to make friends.
I remember my dad coming home and saying, "Hey, grab your trucks, we're going swimming." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I made friends with Jay over at the Scottish Inn, and he said we can come swimming." And I don't know why I vividly remember this, but my dad was always such a great swimmer, and he would go into the water and swim from one end of the pool to the other under the water, and all of us, me, you, Brian, Sanjay, or whoever, we had to jump in and try and stop him and prevent him.
While he would swim.
While he was swimming. It's like trying to drown him. But my dad also was 6'5",
He's a big dude.
260.
I take it he usually won.
Every time. And so, you kind of grew up in the hotel industry, and then actually the first time I worked with Nilesh, I was 16 years old, and he was opening up the Scottish Inn, the Comfort Inn here in town.
Oh.
Yeah, how was that experience opening? Obviously you grew up in the hotel industry. How did it feel opening up a hotel?
Well, I mean, so I had, started that project all the way from the very beginning with the architect because of my background in architecture. Yeah. It was sort of my first development project. Is what I really wanted to do after I got out of college was go in, develop, build something, leave my mark on the landscape.
Yeah.
And so anyhow, I convinced my dad, hey, we can do this. Let's do it. Let's do it before somebody else builds one and puts our other business out of business. Right. So anyhow, it was a project of love for us. We wanted to do it. I got to work with my dad. I got to work on a project from the ground up. So every stage of it, from construction, all the way to opening the actual business and training staff. It was a very neat experience. And I got to reconnect with Jason at that time. So
Yeah. So
That was not as neat.
no. Well, it's actually a comical story, Matt, because I was hired by the contractor to go in and do various odd jobs, but mainly assemble the rooms. So he would go. There were how many rooms?
54.
54. So he'd go into a room. He'd show me how to hang the headboard, maybe in 2 rooms, and then I would have to go do it in the other 53 rooms.
Wow.
And then, oh, hey, this is how you hang the closet rack. Hey, this is how you do this. And so it was doing a lot of the stuff repeatedly. Yeah. And we were getting behind, and I was trying to speed up. And, if I accidentally missed a stud, the wall anchor was going to hold it, I think.
It was fine.
And unfortunately, it got, like any big project, Nilesh knows, it got delayed a little bit. Well, it got delayed so long that he lost all of his staff. Oh. So the hotel opens. He has no staff, and I have no job. So we came to an understanding
like a match made in heaven.
that I would work. And it was probably for at least the first week. I don't think we made it must patch the second week, but I would come in at 7 a.m. and work till 7 p.m. And Nilesh would come in at 7 p.m. and work till 7 a.m. And
So
we
you
did
guys
that.
were the Comfort Inn.
We were it.
We
Yes.
did. He had a staff of cleaners and stuff like that, but we were the only 2 behind the desk.
Yeah.
And I would get calls all the time. Hey, I hung up a suit, and this closet rack just came out. And I'm like, yeah, we unfortunately we unfortunately had some kids hang up some of that stuff, and they might not hit a stud.
See, the deal is the guy that did it didn't know what he was doing. So
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time fixing the stuff that I messed up as a kid.
but sounds like it worked out.
Learning experience, right?
Yeah. And so from there, right now, I know you do a lot of different stuff. You own investment properties. You flip houses. I know that because, we do some projects together. Obviously, you're active in the real estate side, but you also have been so active in the community of Grain Valley for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, just give me a few things that you've done with this. I know you were on zoning and planning for a while.
Yeah.
You've probably been part of the parks board at some point or something. Have you ever been parks guy?
Not on the actual parks board, but right now I'm kind of a parks representative on the the planning future land-use committee. So.
And you kind of run the sports league.
I did. I've got a lot of help now. So
no, you definitely have a lot of help.
Not just me anymore. And to be honest, I have just finished my term as president. It expired last month. We had others that were willing to step up, so I'm able to just kind of sit on the sides and help guide.
So you handed the gavel to somebody else.
I did.
Matt, did you know about the opening?
I did not.
No. Okay. Well, when the next term comes up, I'll make sure you know.
So I'm involved in this podcast right now, but I'm looking for something else to do. So let me know.
So what other things have you been involved in here locally?
I first started when I came to town. I had a lot of time on my hands, trying to sell houses and not know who to sell them to in the beginning, and opening a business. So I joined the chamber at the time and ended up being vice president immediately and then president after that. So, I mean, I spent a lot of time there in the early years. We did everything back then, ran the fair too. I got to, be there when, Microburst came by and lifted a bunch of tents up.
Oh, gosh,
I remember that,
So
yeah.
it was fun, just great experience, just getting to do small town things. And so I did that. Had my kids, and so sports kind of took over after a while, and doing everything they wanted to do with sports in school. So I really got heavily involved in the sports league after that. So.
Yeah, kids take up a lot of time. They take up a lot of time and a lot of money.
Yes.
But we love you for it,
Right?
and would trade it for nothing.
Most days.
Most days, exactly. So, kind of, we've been in part. You made something. Or you said something earlier that really hit home with me because we both feel this way, and I know Matt knows I feel this way. But you talked about leaving your mark on your hometown. That's what Iron Kettle was all about. When I came to you, you were actually selling the building.
Yep.
That I drove by and said that's where I want to open it, and it wasn't so much I wanted to open a brewery. I mean, of course, obviously we talked about opening a brewery for years now. But it was just being able to take an old building in our downtown and fix it up. And since then, we've taken 2 more buildings now in our downtown area, and one of them is where the Patel Group is, located on Gregg Street.
Yes. No, I mean, I kind of wish we had more buildings, more character in this town, but, maybe the next step is building brand new buildings. That help add to, places for this community to enjoy.
You can always build new buildings and make them look old.
True. We do that, yeah.
That is okay.
It's more the gathering places, though, I think is what it is. Build a space where people will want to come and congregate and be one. Enjoy time with their neighbors.
Yeah, and as our town grows, because it significantly has since we were kids. For those of you that are old, let me ask you this fact. We'll start doing a trivia question every time. Do you remember the Octagon? It was a liquor store when we were kids, and they used to have a barbecue place. Do you know what that building originated as?
Was it a tourist info?
See, one of two things. Either I've already told him this story, or he really remembers.
Oh, I remember. It was one, I think,
okay.
Still when we were there.
It was.
Yeah.
He's right. It was a tourist center. Why was it an octagon?
I think you got me stumped there.
Yeah.
Woo.
See, this is what he does. He doesn't pre-tell it. He throws these questions at us.
You're darn right.
It gives me the easy question.
Now, the softballs are over. Now, here
Yes.
we go.
It was 8-sided for the 8 different states that touch Missouri, and each state had its own wall inside.
Oh.
Yeah. You know how I knew that? Marty Napier told me. Marty Napier told me.
It's the podcast.
We were actually back when I had the tour bus and we were doing the city tour. She was talking about it, and I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, she was a curator or whatever in there and stuff like that. And she told me, no, it was 8-sided for the 8 different states, and they each had their own little thing. I'm like,
He wrote it in his little notebook and said, I will use that.
this is my notebook right here, man. It's full of all kinds of useless information. So kind of, we just opened up the Patel Group over there on Gregg Street. Kind of what's your plans that you see in with the Patel Group or real estate, or what your future goals are, moving forward?
Yeah, no, I kind of want to get to the point where I was dreaming coming out of college, where I wanted to build something cool, right? So yeah, I'm going to be trying to do a little bit more development, construction out of those offices. I still have my real estate team that I'm trying to build so that I can still serve all my past clients and everybody else that comes across our way that needs some assistance with either a rental or a purchase of a home. So we're gonna still serve everybody that we have in the past, but I'm gonna take a step in the direction I wanted to once I got out of college.
Nice. I'm finally doing that too, because I've always wanted to host a podcast with Matt. I mean, since I was a little kid, and I was
even since I was a little kid back in the 1700s, like it was.
Yeah,
we dreamed of that.
Yeah, the P podcast back there. It was just nobody knew what they were at that time. No. So I do agree with you. And the one thing I like about working with you and working with the Patel Group and what the Patel Group offers is we're kind of a one-stop shop for anything that deals with the building. I mean, you'll sell them the land. You'll help them build the building. You'll help them rehab the home. You'll rehab the home. You'll sell them a home. You'll rent them a home. We're not just pretty faces on business cards.
Definitely
right?
not.
No, especially me. I think I got my picture on the business card now. Maybe, but
yeah, I was so against doing that in the very beginning. But you know what? It's people gotta get to know me, right?
If nobody will market you like you'll market you.
That's right.
That's true. I mean, that's how we built this multi-dollar studio. And our 10s and 20s of listeners.
Right. They said it couldn't be done. We put some tables down. We taped up a sign, and
yes, we did not tape up a sign. This is embroidered. This is embroidered in the wall.
No, it's a green screen. We professionally put the image back there. Right. This is very professional.
This is high tech. Yes.
This is definitely tech of some sort. But I do agree with you with a lot of stuff you're saying. Again, just because I know the history of this building. I know the guy that built it. John O'Connell. He was an Irish immigrant, built this in 1920. So it's over 100 years old. His great-grandchildren have bricks downstairs. It's kind of neat to the fact that he hasn't been around for so long, but his name is remembered in the legacy of the building he built.
Right. Yeah, that is
and
very cool.
For far too long, people would just throw stuff up, and the legacy didn't last. The legacy doesn't last on a house like it does anymore.
Like a building downtown's a bit different.
Yeah, it definitely is. And so, I love the fact that's your goal, that's your future, that's your plan, and I know working with you, it's if you want to do it, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, it's might take time, but I've got a plan. So
yes, time and money. That's those two things that I come to Nilesh with all kinds of ideas, and he's like, "Okay, that'll take 10 years and $10 million." I'm like, "Damn, I'm out." All right, can we shrink it down a little bit?
We'll put that on the back burner.
All right. Well, Nilesh, I appreciate you coming out. I mean, if you have any real estate needs whatsoever, 513C Gregg Street, right here in downtown Grand Valley. The Patel Group has its new office, newly refurbished office space, right next to the Assistance Council and next to the future home of Iron Courtyard, indoor-outdoor cornhole facility. Right on the corner across from the post office. All kinds of good stuff happening downtown. But we truly appreciate you coming on, just talking to us about, your past, your future, and what the real estate, hopefully, market is going up, going down.
It's going up still.
It's going up still.
Yeah, everybody's values are climbing still.
Nice. Nice. Well, I'm Jason from Matt and Nilesh. We appreciate you very much, and we'll see you later, Grand Valley.
Bye. Thank you.
The Fense Post.